I don't know what that was. Just ignore me. What's up, guys? How you doing? So we back at it again. As I stated in the last video. Did I state it in the last video? I don't know if I did, but I'm gonna state it now. I am about to do a full recap of what the Joyride series is about from episode 1 all the way to episode 10, just to get some clarification on a lot of things. I know there's some times where you would watch certain things, but you don't understand what's going on based off of like what episode you started off of. So if you started off from 1 and you understand it from episode 10, then thank you. But if you don't, this is a video for you to watch and for you to understand, and everything will be good after that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this recap. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Whoa, let's get it.
Yeah, man. First day as an Uber driver.
So episode 1 was more so a practice run. I didn't want to use it for the series. I just wanted to see what I can do to test the waters. But I said, you know what? I don't really know my approach towards this whole series. So I said, you know what? Forget it. Let me just drop it and see where I go with it. Now, episode 1 consists of me, Armin. What's up? As an Uber driver. But keep in mind that I don't say my name at all throughout this series. And one of the episodes shows that, you know, I haven't said my name to any of them. So, but you'll see it. But I end up getting a new job as an Uber driver. And I bounce back and forth from job to job. So I feel as if this one will keep me stable and I'll have it for a long period of time. But I end up getting into certain situations that I don't see myself getting into. For example, this first situation in episode 1. The first passenger that I get, he gives me a hard time off the bat. I think that, you know, he's you know, a great person as we first start talking, but then he starts giving me like wrong directions while I'm trying to pay attention to the navigation system. It's telling me to go one way and he's telling me to go the other. So it's really hard for me to, you know, comprehend where I'm really trying to go. But it ends off me getting him to his destination at nighttime, and I end up dropping him off at my ex's spot.
Bro, tell me how I just dropped off someone at my ex's spot.
Now, I didn't know where I was going to. I just ended up wherever my ex lives. And keep in mind that I'm trying to get my ex out of my head, and he just reminded me of it again. So that's a story for the next episode. That carries on to episode 2. Now in episode 2, Jonathan, who was my first customer, calls me wondering to see if like I can pick him up again. I'm like, bro, how'd you even get my number? Uber doesn't give out their real numbers. They give out fake numbers. So how'd you find it? So, you know, I'm trying to figure that out. But of course I can't. So I tell him that, you know, if you need any other ride, just let me know. I got you. But then I try to confront him about my ex. That house that I dropped you off at, whose house was that? And he hangs up on me. So at that point, I really can't get mad because she's not my girl anymore. So I end up picking up my second customer who wanted me to take him to the liquor store. Keep in mind, whenever he got in the car, man's looked like he was 10. But he said he was 26, apparently. I'm not going for that. And his sister said she was 24, but they're like the same height. Now, I don't discriminate on anybody's height. I understand there's people that look older than what they look like. But I wasn't going for it with these kids. Like, no, it was just too good to be true. But apparently it was true. Because man's had a whole wife.
What you think? I'm really gonna let a little kid go to the liquor store? Hurry up and take my husband.
Hey, bro, you married?
Yup, and she's being nice, surprisingly.
So I ended up taking them to the liquor store. I apologize. I didn't mean to discriminate against their age. They were cool with it. We were good. I left. And then apparently it was a whole prank. Mans gave me a fake ID. And I fell for it. But they got in trouble by their mom.
Jeremiah, what's in that bag?
Moms wasn't having it. She told them they have to go back and apologize. But not just any type of apology. She wanted them to know that they are a liar and they are proud. So, they wore shirts that said they are a liar and they are proud.
Mom, really? Okay, now this is a little bit overboard.
Bye, guys. Y'all have 30 minutes.
Man, when I get kids, I might have to do something like that. But anyways, so Dylan was about to actually apologize until Jeremiah hit him. And then they end up saying, oh, we need to go to get some food.
We actually don't need to go to the address I sent you.
Where are we going?
To go get some food.
They don't end up apologizing. They wanted to keep this lie rolling. So, as dumb as I am, I'm still believing that they're older.
15 minutes away, so you might as well order. No. This life is hard. Corona, COVID.
Now, shout out to my boy Omari for playing this amazing role. He did a phenomenal job. He was playing one of the cooks at the restaurant, and as they're on the phone, he was being a lot more rude than he thought he was. Now, if you don't know, different cultures don't really see rudeness in certain ways. Americans might see it different, but Africans don't see it the same as Americans sometimes. So the way he was talking, he may think he was, being polite, but in other eyes, he wasn't. Now, the kids don't end up getting the food because they got a text message from their mom saying, y'all are taking too long. Y'all should have apologized a long time ago. What's going on? So me being as oblivious as I am, I end up rushing them home because, they gave me some excuse.
Hello? Who are you?
So once I got back to their spot, they ran out the car like there was an emergency going on. I didn't question it, so I just let them go. But then one of the kids left their phones in the car, and there was a text message that went off, and I try not to look at it, but it was just right in my face, so I did. So it said, hey, how are you doing? How's the 5th grade going? Y'all told me y'all were older than that.
Yes.
So he hit me up the next day talking about thank you for finding my phone. You just gonna sit here and act like you little rascals haven't been lying to me this whole time? I ended up getting another customer out of the blue while I was talking to my friend about the situation, and he was a lot to handle.
Can I help you? Aren't you the Uber driver? Yeah. So drive, fool.
Did you request me?
You would think this man is like big and macho. He's more sensitive than macho, I can tell you that.
But, man, I'm sorry.
Shout out to my boy Mike for playing this dope role. I promise you, I kid you not, we probably shot the scene 5 times just because I kept on laughing. So apparently he's upset because someone stole his skateboard, his favorite skateboard to be at that. But also me talking to him, I said certain things that brought up trauma from his childhood. I didn't know. So I try to help him out with it. But the person who stole his skateboard is this dude right here, Dylan. Now the whole time, I'm trying to tell Mike to stand up for himself and to get that skateboard back. Little does he know, this is the man who took it. Wow. Just wow. Now let's backtrack a little because I know I missed one part. Jeremiah started coughing at the beginning of the episode. Now, Dylan waited until Jeremiah was 6 feet away from him in order for him to leave. Dylan thought that Jeremiah had COVID based off of that one cough. Now, he was trying to be as cautious as he can be throughout the whole episode. As you can see, in one scene, while they were playing games, Dylan was playing the game in a whole different room than Jeremiah. And at the end of the episode, you can see that Dylan had this whole full suit on in the back seat. Episode 5. So episode 5 deals with Jonathan from episode 1, and he tries to convince me to join this radio contest in order for them to win money. And then he ends up convincing me because apparently I'm money hungry. So as, I try to train him for this radio contest. Regardless of me entering a radio contest, I still have to get money one way or another. So I have a new passenger named Reggie. This guy is something else. Shout out to my boy Reggie for playing this role. And also, most of the characters that I have in this show, their actual names are the names of the characters. So just to clear that up.
No sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she goes away.
Why are you?
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And she's always gone for too long. Anytime she goes away. You ever heard the term?
But anyways, yeah, Reggie's crazy. I don't know what he's on, but he just seems too hyper for me. And he loves singing for some strange reason. The day goes by, and then the radio contest gets a hold of Jonathan, and we end up being the right caller. Like, I was excited.
Is yours. Let's do it. What state do the Baltimore Ravens play in?
Delaware?
But then it went downhill from there.
Where do I have to take you again?
Now, this is one of my favorite episodes I shot. The kids aren't in episode 5 or episode 6. So prior to him getting into my car, this was a backstory of what was going on before he called the Uber. Reggie really a mellow, nonchalant dude, but the moment he gets some alcohol in his system, he definitely steps out of his shell. I made this episode because nobody really knows what goes on behind closed doors. They may see one person one day and overall think they're crazy, but they never know what's going on in their lives at the moment. So, you should never judge a book by its cover, and you should never just assume that someone is just on something. So, episode 7 starts off with me confronting Jonathan about the whole radio contest. He blew it for us. But it is what it is. Things happen. But he brings up little remarks about my ex.
You know what? Your ex was right. You never own up to it whenever you're wrong.
What?
Bye.
What'd you say?
Don't think I didn't remember about episode 1. But now that I think about it, I can't really get too mad. She's my ex for a reason. So, she can do whatever she wants to do with anybody else. I'm not mad. At least I think I'm not. This episode, I had to change a good bit of it based off of people's schedules, but it's all good. We still made it work. So my boy Mike, you remember Big Mike? He ended up getting his skateboard back. But not in the way you would think he would get it, because he asked one of his friends to go talk to the people to confront them about the skateboard. But then when his friend realized that there were little kids that took the skateboard, he took it as a joke, but he should have never taken it as a joke though.
Go tell your coward friend if he wants a skateboard to go to the store and buy it himself. I suggest you run along before things start getting a lot worse here. And trust me, honey, it will. Don't test me.
Well, that was a shocker. And shout out to my boy Kyle for playing this role. Alright, so episode 8 ended up starting with just kids being kids. Now, I do feel this way whenever I stub my toe, so I can understand where his rage came from. Now, at this point, I can care less about them being older or younger than me. I really have too much going on in my life at the moment. Well, not too much, just some girl issues. I met someone online, she looked cool, she talked cool, but she ended up ghosting me. But that whole thing took a turn because she ended up being a catfish. And it's not the catfish that I expected it to be.
Stupid dare you should have never agreed on. Now he's fantasizing a picture of you!
So I talked to the kids about this situation, and they're actually understandable, surprisingly. And I try to see if I should just avoid this and let it go, or should I keep on getting at her?
Okay.
So y'all think I should just leave it alone?
Yes, 1,000%. Oh, for good. Throw it in the garbage.
So at the end, I try calling the number again just to see, if she's going to respond or not. When I called the number, Dylan's phone starts ringing. Nah, man, it can't be you. Nah, bruh. So I'm not in this episode. I wanted to focus more so on directing it. The kids need more money. They want to get enough money to get a new TV because apparently the TV that they have right now is too small. So they go above and beyond trying to find jobs in order for them to save up money. And they stumble upon this one job on the job board online. Selling cookies in the neighborhood, really harmless job that kids can do. You thought.
Fox 20 News reports a drug bust took place in the small neighborhood Everton Bearings. Authorities say that the person behind this was a young African American named Jeremy Underwood.
Long story short, the kids ended up selling drugs and they didn't even know it. Episode 10, last one. The kids were a little upset with Dylan because he put them through that risk of almost getting arrested by selling these unknown drugs. So as it was stated in episode 8, I have to confront Dylan so I can ask if this is really him on this dating app. Because this is weird. This is very weird. Now, if you didn't remember, Dylan ends up doing a dare where he has to make himself look like a girl in a picture and download an app to talk to a guy. The kids try their best to avoid me just so I don't ask them about the whole situation. So they try to replace me as an Uber driver and I wasn't having it. I ended up finding out who it was based off of a phone call that I was eavesdropping on. Just, because he was right next to me. So the moment I figured that out, I wasn't letting this one go at all. These are my favorite customers, so I'm going to keep them. We kind of went back and forth for a little bit, but then, we resolved the issue. We were cool and all, and I got my customers back. Like that. But before we go, I can't thank the actors enough for doing a marvelous job on this series. With that being said, I would like to give a special shout out to AJ, David, Ariel, Jonathan, Omari, Big Mike, Reggie, Kyle, Sam, and Anthony. Without y'all, none of this would have never happened, so I really appreciate y'all and love y'all. And the list is still growing, so tap into Joyride. So, that was the whole recap of all the episodes. Now that you have a little idea of what's going on in the whole series, if you haven't watched all the episodes, which y'all should have, y'all can go back and watch episode 1 to 10 so you can be a little more understanding now since I did this recap. But if you have watched all the episodes, you're amazing. Be on the lookout for episode 11. It's coming soon. Make sure you subscribe to the page. More videos coming soon, more content. I can't wait. Can't wait for y'all to see more. Boom, 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 boom.